It is now December for Overwatch 2, and there are a bunch of updates that I'd like to talk about. So without further ado, I'm just going to get right into it. As always, if you're new, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. This is a summary of all the points we're going to discuss in the video. If you want to pause and look at it super quick, feel free. Timestamps for each of these will also be in the description below. Starting off with ranked, we do know at the end of every season there is going to be a little bit of skill decay. What that means is if you're Diamond 1, you might go down to Diamond 2 or 3. Alright, seems fair, right? In Overwatch 1, even if you ended the season with 3200 SR, which is Diamond, there were times where I would win or lose half of my matches each, my placements, and still place in Diamond. To me, it seemed like placement matches back then were kind of getting back into the swing of things for this season. And if you left the game for 2 to 3 weeks, skill decay was not nearly as bad as what they're doing with Overwatch 2. With their current system, you will, and this isn't hyperbole, this is fact, you will go from Diamond at the end of Season 1 to Gold. Because I have zero idea why. The game ruins your rank with skill decay. And that's not all. Say you take a break from the game to play another game, or say you have a life outside of video games. You come back and try and win 7 matches. Let's say you win all 7. There is a chance you won't even rank up, and you might even rank down, just because you didn't play. The devs made this game with the intention of constantly playing day in and day out, and that's beyond unrealistic. Now let's say you're a Platinum player and went to Silver at the start of Season 2. You don't play the game for some time. You come back and do some comp. The people in your current elo are no longer Platinum players like you expect due to the same reason you're in Silver now, because during the time you were gone, they probably climbed up the ranks. Now the ones you face in Silver, they're actual Silver players. So yes, that makes it easier for you, but beyond unfair for the others. Rank is broken and it's getting worse as time goes on. So Ramattra was introduced during Overwatch League Finals. He'd be playable December 1st. But there is a problem if you've been trying to play as him, and you should be able to see the problem right now. He's only unlockable via the Battle Pass. Now, if you have the Premium Battle Pass, he's going to be available right away. But if you're like me and you have the free one, he's going to be available only when you reach level 45. Now, this leads to multiple issues. One is now it seems like we're just hiding characters behind potential paywalls, and we don't have them right off the get-go like we always used to do in Overwatch 1. If you go into the shop right now, there is a bunch of stuff that you could potentially buy. Look at all these things that you could purchase. You want a character? Just pay for the character. You want a skin? It's going to cost you like 20 bucks. Now, don't get me wrong, the Olympus-style themed characters look great, but at the same time, make them, I don't know, cheaper or just accessible in-game through rewards like they used to do in Overwatch 1. Last but not least, I want to go over the patch notes and hero updates. Now this is very extensive, so I'm going to do my best to try to make it as quick as possible, but also as detailed as possible. So they basically go over the fact that Ramattra is now available. We went over that in the beginning of the video. There is one update when it comes to control. The example they gave here is as follows. For example, if Team A has 99% and then Team B has control at that point, but Team A takes the point back, instead, overtime will now automatically trigger instead of them just going to 100 and winning. So this is very similar to Overwatch 1, so I'm glad that they added that back. There are hero updates and challenges that they've added, as well as a couple of things when it comes to competitive play. They are introducing a couple of name cards and a couple of title rewards, so that is nice to showcase. Other than that, we're going to go right into the hero updates. So for the damage roll, basically their passive no longer has a movement speed bonus. However, their reload speed bonus increased from 25 to 35%. So that is going to be very versatile. They also go over the fact that Ramattra has his abilities lined up now. They don't give the specific damages, so that is one thing to consider. Other than that, we're going to get into the heroes that actually are in the game right now and can be used in both regular quick play and competitive. Starting with Doomfist for his Rocket Punch. Impact damage range, min to max, increased from 15 to 30 to 25 to 50 damage. Wall Slam damage range, reduced from 20 to 40 to 10 to 30 damage. Empowered Rocket Punch Wall Slam, stun duration reduced from 0.5 to 1 second to 0.25 to 0.75. So basically, his Rocket Punch does more damage. Any type of opponent hitting a wall, they now take less damage. And the Empowered Rocket Punch, they are stunned on the wall for less period of time. Going forward, non-empowered Rocket Punch now stuns for the minimum 0.25 second. All of Doomfist's punches stun. That's significant. McCree lost his flashbang, which was a stun. Brigitte lost her shield bash, which was a stun. Doomfist punch is now a stun. Not just the empowered one, the non-empowered one. The empowered rocket punch knockback reduced from 4 to 3 meters. Again, 3 meters is still a lot. Minimum time before cancel option becomes available, reduced from 0.25 to 0.12 seconds, meaning that you can get in and out of canceling much faster. Cooldown reduced from 4 to 3, however, this entire time it's actually been here and it was just never mentioned. So, significant buffs for Doomfist. Significant. Power block. Cooldown reduced from 8 to 7 seconds. Duration increased from 2 to 2.5 seconds. Minimum damage mitigated required to empower his rocket punch reduced from 90 to 80. So they buffed his power block in every possible aspect. Cooldown is shorter. Duration is now increased, which means you can do it for longer. And now to activate it, instead of 90 damage, you need 80. Every aspect of power block got buffed. Meteor Strike now empowers his rocket punch on landing. Enemy slowdown increased from 2 to 3 seconds. You know what else is 3 seconds? Doomfist cooldown for his rocket punch, which by the way, stuns. So now you have an empowered rocket punch that you can land right away, right after Meteor Strike, which by the way ties into the next thing. Overhealth, the best defense, which is his passive. Maximum temporary health increased from 150 to 200 health. Temporary health gained per target hit increased from 30 to 40 health. So the 40 makes sense here because there are 5 enemies max, and if you can get 40 off of each enemy max, 40 times 5 is the 200 health we see right over here. Doomfist got significant buffs in every aspect. Shorter cooldowns, more damage, stunning all around. Power block got buffed up the wazoo. Meteor Strike now empowers his rocket. It slows people down for longer, and now he can have more health. They made him like a D tier tank to potentially meta at this point. Junker Queen. Torso and head hit volume size increased 12%. Now they made her easier to hit. Significant nerf. Wound duration decreased from 5 to 4.5 seconds. Again, nerfed. Ultimate cost reduced by 10%. A little bit of a buff. Commanding Shout. Cooldown reduced from 15 to 14 seconds. I think to make her more balanced, they could have made this 14 seconds, either 13 or 12. Adrenaline Rush. Adrenaline passive healing multiplier increased from 1 to 1.5. So basically she can heal a little bit more. However, she heals a little bit more for a less period of time. And she now can be hit more so. So overall it seems like a neutral, but to me it seems like a bit of a just overall nerf. Bastion. For his artillery. Delay before projectiles drop reduced from 1 to 0.6 seconds, meaning that they drop faster because, you know, it makes sense. People were able to avoid it. Explosion damage reduced from 300 to 250, which is fair because they are dropping faster. If they were to do the same amount of damage, it could become a little overpowered. Not entirely, but you could get the idea. No longer deals explosion damage to self, kind of like Junkrat where his bombs don't actually hurt him. Minimum delay between placing shots reduced by 20%. Which means that it could land much faster, which is good. And then for reconfigure, cooldown reduced from 12 to 10 seconds. Overall, Bastion got buffed. Good for him. Sojourn. Energy delay before draining reduced from 8 to 5 seconds. So that is big because most people can hold on to that 8 seconds to try to strategically place it whenever they need it. Now they have to work with 5 seconds. Granted, you could just hit an enemy right away and then it resets that 5-second counter, but still a bit of a nerf, so that is something we needed. Secondary fire fall off starting range reduced from 70 to 40 meters. 40 meters is still a lot. It's still a lot of distance, so yes, it's a nerf, but not the one that could potentially reduce her headshots. Secondary fire critical damage multiplier reduced from 2 to 1.5. That will actually stop people from getting headshots. So that is very good. So I believe instead of doing, a fully charged headshot no longer kills a full 200 HP hero? Correct. Instead I think it's going to be like, 190, 195 damage? So they barely get to go away from that, so secondary fire damage now scales linearly with energy from 30 to 130 damage. 1 energy converted to 1 point of damage. Perfect, I think that's fine. Primary fire damage per projectile increased from 9 to 10, so she got a buff. Overclock energy charge rate increased by 20%. So what this basically means is that her overclock, she'll get more shots faster. So yes, she's doing a tiny bit less damage when it comes to headshots. However, she's now able to do more of those. So I think overall Sojourn got mini buffed, even though it seems like they tried to go with these first 4 in a nerf. But by adding these other 2, she got buffed. So there's that. Ramattra. Beam charge rate and decay rate increased by 20%. Okay. Primary fire ammo consumption rate increased from 7 to 10. Okay. Primary fire gains ammo from damaging barriers again. Okay. So now, just like in Overwatch 1, she can recharge her gun based on barriers. She is consuming a little bit more. However, she charges up much faster. Yes, she does decay at the same rate. However, charging up that much and being able to do some damage is pretty good. So overall, I'd say mini buff. Tracer, super simple. Damage increase from 5 to 6. That's actually going to be a significant buff for her. It's going to be very hard to get away from her now. So she's doing more damage. She has 40 ammo max. So very good for Tracer. Ana. Cooldown reduced from 15 to 14 seconds for a sleep dart. I think that that's negligible and there was no reason for this whatsoever. If you really wanted to make her buffed, I'd say bring this down to either 12 or 13. Or make her do more healing when it comes to her biotic grenade. But 1 second for a sleep dart. Okay. Kiriko. Got a bunch for her. So, arm hit volumes width reduced 15%. Added an auto wall climb hero option. Okay. Kitsune Rush. Ultimate cost increased by 10%. So that is a nerf. Movement speed bonus reduced from 50 to 30%. I don't think that's that bad because even the little bit of speed boost does help. I don't think they needed an extreme amount of speed, so this is fine. However, for abilities, cooldown rate reduced from 3 to 2 times faster is a very significant nerf. So that is going to affect her very badly. One of the points for Kiriko is that her ult is what made her strong. So now that she doesn't have as tough of an ult, it could downplay her abilities overall. Her Suzu, cast time reduced from 0.15 to 0.1 seconds. Kunai, ammo increased from 12 to 15. I don't know why we're giving our supports more ammo. Swift Step, ability input can now be held to activate. Overall, Kiriko got mini nerfed. You know, this is really going to affect her, losing this much power when it comes to her Kitsune. Mercy. Weapon swap time reduced from 0.5 to 0.35. I don't know why they did that. No clue. Ammo increased from 20 to 25. I still don't know why they did that. Someone who doesn't really use her pistol now is using her pistol because it has 5 more ammo and because you can swap to it faster. The only time I've ever used my pistol, and I'm a support main, the only time I've ever used my pistol is when the opponent's HP is already low and I'm trying to get a pick off of them, or if I'm in Valkyrie for whatever reason, I just want to have some fun. But there's no reason to give a support like Mercy more DPS. So, I don't know, but okay. Other than that, they did change a couple of the maps for Season 2. Some things that are now in evening or mornings, so that got switched. Blizzard World Overcast is new, so that is cool. I believe this is for Ramattra, the monastery, Shambali. That is at nighttime. It is new as well. That is pretty cool. Couple new maps. Again, Nepal evening is new. Oasis morning, I played this in the morning for me, actually. This was new. I saw that. It's pretty cool. And then a couple of bug fixes, pretty much. And that is pretty much everything that I wanted to go over for the month of December. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I will be sure to catch you guys in the next one.